And we continue now with former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich is with us. All right, Mr. Speaker, we had the NAACP. We had what they said about the Tea Party. I think, obviously, an attempt. They support the Democratic Party, 106 days out of an election to energize the base. The president, he went out and he started referring to the GOP as being the party of the rich because he says Republicans don't want to extend unemployment benefits. The reality is Republicans do support extending unemployment benefits. They want it paid for. They've already supported an extension for 99 weeks. And by the way, the president doesn't need any Republican votes to pass the bill anyway. So is this what we can expect for the next 106 days? Oh, sure. Look, I mean, if you watch what Harry Reid's trying to do to Sharon Angle in Nevada, what you're going to see everywhere in the country is desperately dishonest and I think consistently demagogic attacks, because they know that if there's any kind of a fair fight, they're going to get badly defeated. The president, sadly, is the opposite of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan led by telling the American people the truth, by rallying them to the facts, and by encouraging their better instincts. The president seems to have a really unusual desire to divide the country and a really deep need to blame somebody else for his own failures. And as a result, you get this kind of Rose Garden comment. Yeah. The fact is, if this president cared about getting money to the unemployed, all he has to agree to is a 1% reduction in his budget across the board, and that would pay for everything he wants to send. But he doesn't want, what he wants to do is borrow from your children and your grandchildren so that we will pay interest on the debt forever, so that he can send out money that is unpaid for, that increases the federal deficit even beyond the already gigantic amounts. And I think that's just fundamentally morally wrong. So what you're saying, for the next 106 days, we can expect a ton of class warfare rhetoric, demagoguery, as you just pointed out, and demonization, et cetera, character assassination, maybe some supportive groups playing the race card because they can't run on their record. That's what the next 106 days are going to be like? This is going to be all we see? I think the Democratic Party counterattack will, to use the language you just kind of packaged nicely, if you assume dishonesty, distortion, and demagoguery, you'll have a reasonably good idea of what Harry Reid's campaign is going to be like. Because if the election choice in Nevada at 14.5% unemployment is between a job-killing Harry Reid record and a job-creating Sharon Angle proposal, he is going to get beat so badly that you won't even be able to see him. And therefore, he's raising. He just went to Canada to raise money from trial lawyers at an international meeting. This guy's going to pour on negative ads. Every Democrat in the country will imitate Harry Reid. Yeah, I agree. And I have a friend of mine running for Congress, and he's already experiencing it. Guy votes with Nancy Pelosi 99% of the time. The only thing he wants to do is attack you and me and Mark Levin and anybody else, which is interesting. The question is, will this tactic be successful? No. And how do you recommend, you're great at politics, how do you recommend Republicans counter that? First of all, Sean, if you voted 99% with Nancy Pelosi, wouldn't you want to be attacking all day, every day? I mean, do you want to defend that record? No. I was out last week. And for Brad Zahn in Des Moines, his opponent voted 98% with Nancy Pelosi, and all he has to say is, San Francisco doesn't deserve an Iowa representative. Iowa needs an Iowa representative, and that's the whole campaign. I think that's the whole campaign. I agree. I believe the key to the fall election is very simple. There are job creators and there are job killers. We have absolute proof that from the time Pelosi and Reid took over in January of 2007, the Democratic Congress has been killing jobs. It continues to kill jobs. This economy is not going to recover. We just saw a huge oil rig leave the Gulf to go to Egypt with high-paying jobs. We had a company announce over the weekend, think about this quote, because of political instability in the United States, we are moving our rig to the Congo. To drill for oil. So the president is exporting jobs. He's doing a great job of creating jobs for China. The president's done a great job creating jobs for Egypt and the Congo. He just isn't doing a good job creating jobs for Americans. No, we're losing those jobs. All right, but then so that's the choice. You want to be a job creator or a job killer. If you want to be a job killer, vote Democrat. If you want to have a job creator, vote Republican. I think that's the fall campaign. All right, I agree with you. Now, I don't think that I didn't notice you dropped in Des Moines Iowa, and your latest trip to the great state of Iowa. And in between, I know you snuck in a trip to New Hampshire, and I think I saw your schedule. You're going back to South Carolina.
I was in South Carolina Friday a week ago.
Now, wait a minute. We've been friends a long time. You have given more direct answers to people in the liberal media than to me. I want to know, what's Newt Gingrich's plan?
Our plan is for Calista and me to sit down with our family in February or March and make a decision. Yeah. But I promise you, Sean,
well, how come it made news when you told them that? Decision.
Because they printed the same thing I've said to you for 9 months. What can I tell you? But I think it had, because it had AP Des Moines, it suddenly got bigger coverage. I mean, if it had said AP Long Island, it wouldn't have been the same effect.
If it had said Newt and Hannity, it probably wouldn't have had the same. But then again, maybe they're mad at me at the New York Times because I don't respond to their phone calls. You do.
That could be the whole problem.
That could be the whole thing right there. All right.
But I promise you, in February and March, I'll be on the show. We'll talk about it.
And you'll announce here either way.
Well, I'll certainly talk about it.
I love being able to pin you down. All right. Former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. Now, we have plenty more Hannity coming up straight ahead.